to Power Conversations podcast by What's Your Superpower TV. This podcast features conversations of overcoming by faith and pushing through to fulfill a purpose-driven life. This podcast is hosted by CEO and best-selling author Nadia Francois. Welcome to the broadcast. Hello, and welcome to Power Conversations podcast. I am your host, Nadia Francois, and today we are welcoming Dr. Michele Wells. How are you, Queen?
I am great. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. So go ahead and introduce yourself to our audience.
So, I am Dr. Michele Wells. I am a life coach, author, speaker, transformation strategist. My mission is to assist professional women who are stuck or unfulfilled in their life to be bold. And that means to break through their obstacles, to lead in their destiny. And I help women do that by helping them reconnect with their true, authentic self by rediscovering their purpose and their passion, realigning with their values and their strengths, and then doing a reset so they can move from where they are to where they want to be. And I am a social worker by training. I have been in higher education for 20 plus years. And I am moved into the life coaching, which I absolutely love because my passion is to see women be all that God has created and designed them to be.
Awesome. That sounds amazing. So thank you for that beautiful intro. Now let's get into an obstacle that you have overcome that pushed you into your purpose.
Wow. So I have to think back to some things that happened that pushed me forward, and that forward motion kept me moving towards my purpose. And so the thing that comes to mind the most is the divorce that I went through. But even before that, I was in a relationship where I was not honored, I was not valued, and I was very much duped into this relationship. And I say that because I was just overcome with, emotion for this person, thought this person was everything. And then something occurred and he completely flipped the script and began to really be like verbally abusive, even physically abusive. And thankfully, I was not dragged into that too long, but the time that I was in it was long enough. But what happened was the person that I actually ended up marrying was a rebound. And I mean, I'm just going to honestly say it was a rebound. And so I wasn't ready to be married. He wasn't ready to be married. And I took all of that anger and all of that resentment and just all of that negative emotion into this relationship. And so I can't blame him, for us not making it. It was both and. But that obstacle, um, it really opened my eyes. We ended up having our son, and when I had my son, I recognized that it was just like this aha moment. This isn't about you, right? This is about a life that you have been called to impact, to help to nurture, to help to grow into a valuable human being. And so I had to get myself all the way out of the way. And that was a process. I mean, that took some doing. I had a lot of healing to do. Went through some failed relationships along the way, went through some failed friendships along the way. I mean, I just had a lot of growing to do. But the beautiful thing is that God gave me that aha moment. And in that moment, in spite of what I had to even go through as a single mom raising him, and what I had to go through in terms of learning what I needed to learn along the way, in spite of that, he helped me in that moment to break down that obstacle and to be able to move forward in the purpose that he had designed for me. And so I'm so thankful, just for the steps that I had to go through. And we're always a work in progress. So I never say I've arrived. I never say I don't have more growing to do, but I do see what God did along the way to get me to where I am right now so that I can be a blessing to other women and the people that he brings into my path. And so it's beautiful how he wakes us up if we're open to it, if our eyes are open, if our heart is open, he wakes us up and he says, okay, it's time to do something different so you can walk in the purpose that I've designed for you. So that was is there's a much bigger story, but
Right.
it's kind of the short version of what got me to where I am right now.
Love it.
Yeah.
And you talked about some steps you had to take in order to heal and get
Mhm.
past those moments. What
Yeah.
were those steps?
Well, I believe in counseling. I believe in that. I believe in having that neutral party to talk to, somebody who's an outside person to help you to just recognize and navigate things that you may be going through. And actually, I went into counseling about I would say about a year and a half into my marriage, and just began to see a lot of me. And that's where I was recognizing that this was things that I needed to heal from. I wasn't ready to be in this relationship. And in fact, I was probably hindering this person as opposed to helping them. So counseling was something that I did. The most important thing I'll say is when I ended up going through my divorce, I moved back to my mom's house. And when you move to mom's house, you can't stay at home on Sundays. You got to go to church.
Yep.
And getting back to my relationship with the Lord, because in that whole situation, of course, I drifted, right? I drifted outside of his will. I drifted into my own lane, thinking I could handle things without him. But I love that he navigated and he orchestrated. So I had to be back in a place where I really knew that I had to get back to him, that there was no other way forward. And so that was a huge step. That was probably the main step. But that getting into some counseling and then really um, connecting with people who were honest with me, right? Because we can always connect with people who will co sign our mess,
Yeah.
so to
Yeah.
speak. But you got to connect with people who are honest with you and who will help you see you. And it doesn't always feel good, right? And it's not always easy, but that's the love, that God has for us, that he would put people in our lives that would help us to see ourselves. And I had friends like that. I was very grateful that I had friends like that. And so just connecting with the right people. So that was a big step as well. And then just continuing to learn. There's nothing like continuing to learn in the areas of your passion. As I said, I'm a social worker by training. I've been in higher education for 20 years. And so, in that process, I was always still learning more about how to deal with people, how to be in relationships, how to teach people how to be in relationships. And so, all of that has been a great blessing to me, but always keep yourself open to learning. Don't, again, like I said in the beginning, don't ever think that you've arrived. There's always more to learn and there's always more growth. And so I would say that all of those things, getting back to my relationship with the Lord, getting some counseling, getting with trusted friends, and then continuing to learn were things that helped me to move forward and to press in past my obstacles so that I could be in the space that I'm in today.
Yes. Yes. I love that.
Mhm.
I love that because a lot of times we can't get past ourselves enough,
Mhm.
to really recognize, okay, like you said, I wasn't right, as
Right.
opposed to putting the blame on other people and or other things. And so that, yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm glad you were able to share that. And so going through that obstacle, that kind of a bad relationship,
Mhm.
um, pushed you into all of the things that you are currently doing now. And so I heard you say you were an educator and now you are grabbing on to the life coaching. So
Mhm.
tell us about that.
Well, as an educator, as I said, I've always been in a place where I'm helping other people to grow. And what I found was that as I continued to do that, that there was still something in me that wanted to do more. There was still something in me that really wanted to focus on helping women to be more of what God created and designed them to be. And really, again, God orchestrated an opportunity for me to be able to go through it was really a pilot program for certification for coaching. And when I went through the program, I was like, this is so freeing. The whole premise of coaching is such a freeing experience. And I thought, this is how I really want to help people. And I'm thankful for all that, I've learned as a practicing social worker, as a person in higher education. All of that training has come with me, but the experience of coaching and helping people to like have those light bulb moments and to make the plan that's going to help them really fulfill what they desire to do, what's in their heart to do. Because what I have found, and you probably have noticed this as well, is that we get caught up in just making it, right? Just doing our day to day so we can just make it, so we can just pay the next bill, so we can just, do the next thing. And there's more. There's so much more than that. And one of the other things that I found through this journey is that, remember, I said I needed to have people in my life that were real with me. What I found was that we can walk around with the mask of false confidence where we pretend like we have it all together, and sometimes we even believe it because we've done it so long. But when we take away that mask, who's the person behind the mask? Who's the authentic person? And so what I found is that I wanted to be that person, and I wanted to help other women to be that person, to be the real person, because that's the person that needs to show up to help somebody else. Because we're all connected, right? We're all here to help one another in one way or another. We're all a part of God's story. We're all a part of making, this life on earth the best that it can be. And so if we're not showing up the way we need to, then our part is lost and people are being missed. And
Yeah.
so all of that kind of just, welled up in me. And after I went through this training, I thought, this is where I need to be. I need to move. I need to pivot. I need to get in this lane where I can reach these women who aren't fulfilling what God has for them and who really don't even know what they're missing out on because they're not showing up as their true selves. And so that's how I kind of moved into the coaching space. And I absolutely love it. I absolutely love seeing uh, the freedom that
Yeah.
comes in digging in, getting real, being authentic, and then saying, hey, this is how I need to move forward.
Yeah, I like that.
Mhm,
That's good. And so, how do you help these women discover their purpose, right? Because
mhm,
sometimes, you know, like you say, when we think we have arrived and all of that good stuff, we feel like we may have discovered our purpose. But if we haven't been walking in our true, authentic self and presenting our true, authentic self, how can we be sure that we were really walking in our purpose or that we
mhm.
were even, you know, barking up the right tree, per se?
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
give me your input on that.
Well, how I help is I have developed a 12-week coaching program called Bold Voice. And in this program is kind of three tiers. The first one is really working on your mindset, dealing with your fears, dealing with your limiting beliefs, figuring out what's holding you back, and really understanding your emotions. So many times we don't we deal with like the surface emotions, glad, mad, sad, fear, but it's deeper than that.
Yeah.
And so we go deeper. We go deeper into those emotions and what's underneath that, and how can you heal from something that may have you walking in this mask of false confidence? How can you get that out of your way so that you can really move forward? So that's kind of our first tier. And then secondly, we look at what are you good at? What are your strengths? What do you bring to the table? What's important to you? What do you value? And when people start to dig in there, they recognize, first of all, that somewhere in their life, they're probably operating in their strengths, but maybe not full out.
Yeah.
And that the things that they value are really the places that they want to be, the places they want to go, and the reasons why they want to move or shift or pivot at this point in their life. And then that last tier is for them to really dig in and develop a life plan. Okay, so we actually walk through a plan. We have them go through some questions about their self awareness, to do some goal setting, so that when they walk away, they have the direction for where they want to go beyond the work that they've done to start the healing process. Now that you started that healing process, now that you recognize who you are, now where is God taking you and how does He want you to operate in this large plan that He has for you as you are there to serve and reach others? And so that's how I help women to really move from where they are, as I said in my mission, to where they want to be. But you've got to realize that you may have been hiding behind your wounds, behind your hurts. And when you come out of hiding, you recognize that there's more that God has for you to do.
I love that.
Mhm.
That's good. I love the way you have that set up. All right. So we have talked about your obstacle and how you have pushed through to your purpose, helping other women to do the same, really. And so tell us, you've given us the overview of your coaching program, but tell us about your business. Give us the name of it. Give us anything else we need to know. How do we contact you? How do we reach out to you and connect with you? And then any last words you have for our audience?
Okay. So it's actually under the umbrella of Courageous Voice Academy, because we're going to be putting together additional programs. Right now, I have the program Bold Voice, which is the 12-week coaching program, the 90-day program, and there's the curriculum is there. And so the ladies will go through that 12-week curriculum, and they will meet with me each week that they are in the curriculum. So that's the main program under Courageous Voice Academy right now. But there's also a mini course called Confidence Reset. And so there's 4 modules where we walk through 4 areas that we need to work on to actually reset our confidence so that we can start to move forward and be more empowered to be all that we're called and ordained to be. So that is also under Courageous Voice Academy at this time. But as I said, we're going to be adding some additional courses under there as well. But if anybody wants to reach out to me, the easiest way to reach out to me is either to message me on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, Michele Renee Wells, and Michelle is with 1 L. I'm on Facebook and Instagram as Michele Renee Wells. And so you can find me there, message me there, and then you could also even call me. The number's 859-287-4213. And if you just text the word bold when you go to that number, then I'll know that we connected through this broadcast. So people can reach out to me that way as well. And my website is www.drmichelewells.com. So it's really simple. So all of those ways you can reach out to me. I would love to have you get on a discovery call with me. On the calls, we talk about what it is you want to work on. We talk about the program and if it's a fit for you, if it's something that you are ready to do right now. And then if you are, we move forward to get you started in that 12-week program so that you can start really breaking through those obstacles, changing your mindset, recognizing who you are, and then walking away with your life plan. So I would love to work with those of you that really recognize that in your gut, hey, there's something more for me, and I want to get to getting to what God has for me in this season. So I would love to talk with you.
Love it. Love it. Thank you, Queen.
Yeah.
Guys, reach out to this Queen, Dr. Michele Wells. She has given us a great interview today, a great bit of information regarding just coming to yourself and being authentic, being bold, and recognizing what our life plan is. So, thank you so much, Dr. Michele.
Thank
Reach
you.
out to her, guys, www.drmichellewells.com. Thank
Yes.
you for joining us. Make sure that you are following Power Conversations on Facebook, Power Conversations magazine.com, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at WISP So thank you guys so much for joining us. We have a new episode on all podcasting platforms every Thursday morning at 8 a.m. So make sure you are subscribed. Y'all have a great day.